some pubs in the north where if you say anything, and I would imagine it's the same in the south as well. It's a nationwide problem. If you say anything clever or in words that might have more than 3 syllables, you'll get somebody chirping up saying, "Do you think you're clever?" And naturally, you've got to refuse that. You've got to say, "No, I don't think I'm clever." So by negating that, you're kind of fitting in with the others, aren't you? By saying that, effectively, if you're saying, "I'm just as bad as intelligent as a stick in a bucket of shit," it makes you feel like you've got some kind of togetherness with a group. And I don't know if that's like a domino effect, but it creates like whole neighbourhoods or networks of perhaps people who are generally intelligent but they're constantly like enunciating that they're stupid. So you might meet one of these people and then you say, "How are you? I'm Sid, and how's it going?" And then Sid might meet someone, Harry or whatever, and Harry will say, well, he's frightened of saying anything too clever, so he'll say like, he's always watching what he's saying, especially when you meet new people, you're always watching what you say, so you'll say like, "I'm not trying to be clever though." When I say that, I'm not trying to be clever, which means that immediately the other person will surmise that he's speaking to an imbecile or a fool. And then vice versa might happen. About 5 minutes later, the other guy will say, "Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to, be clever or anything." And then that other guy thinks, "Oh, well, he's not clever, he's an imbecile." So these two blokes that are talking to each other think they're both imbeciles, each one. They're imbeciles, aren't they? Now, like I say, this happens in many different areas of Britain. It's happened in the north because that's the only place that I can have a viewpoint from, because that's where I grew up, in the north, which is normal, isn't it? That's where northerners come from. And somebody said to me once, "Are you a northern monkey, are you?" And I said, "Well, monkeys, you usually find that monkeys come from southern climes in the south, where it's warmer, like southeast or whatever, or the south coast of Britain." And it's very difficult to really live anywhere else. I mean, you've got like these children that are the sons and daughters of like people that are in the army, and they live all over the world as kids, don't they? But to be a completely fully rounded British person, you'd have to like live like in a village every day, like just go around the villages and just spend a night in each one until, over a period of, by the time you're 18, what's that, 365 days times 18? I don't know what that is, I'd have to do that on my calculator. You would have been in every like major town at least, or even really small villages which might not have more than about 50 people in them. And there's no way that could be done, really, is there, unless it's like, you somehow get captured by a slave driver, a medieval slave driver, or even before that, but in our time now, in 2011. So if you were enslaved as a child, you could be like whipped, and you could just like pull a cart full of like, I don't know, you could like get a job delivering brand new washing machines or fridges on the back of a cart. And as a child, you just got to pull that, around the villages. It could be like when people ring up and say, "Right, I want a fridge or a freezer or whatever, but I don't really need it yet. Could you deliver it in 6 months?" And then the person would say at the other end, "Yeah, because we've got a bloke doing the rounds, like a child slave who's doing the rounds. He's like pulling this like cart with all these fridges on, and he's stopping in a village, on the way around, and he'll probably get to you in about 6 months. And then the other person on the phone will say to the guy, do I really need to know all that though? And he'll say, what do you mean? He says, well, I've said I need it in 6 months, and you said you can do it, and for me that's enough. Just take my name and address and my details, I'll give you my credit card number, and that's it. Finished. Put the phone down. I don't need to know about how it's going to be delivered, do I? As long as it's delivered safely. If it's delivered either in a truck or by a slave boy, it's really of no relevance to me and absolutely of no interest whatsoever.